All right, welcome to The Explainer. We've all been waiting all summer for this, and let me tell you, the opening weekend of the football season absolutely did not disappoint. We're going to break down all the drama from right across the globe.
And honestly, you can just feel the relief in that, right? All that preseason chatter is done. It's over. And from the very first whistle, boom, the results started pouring in. Some were, what you'd expect, but others, yeah, they sent some serious shockwaves through the leagues.
I mean, we had it all. We're talking massive results, some crazy last-minute drama, and even some major controversies. You can already tell this season is shaping up to be one for the books. So yeah, let's just dive right in.
And where else would we start but the Premier League, right? The very first big-ticket matchup of the entire season, and of course, it gave us drama right away.
So Arsenal gets things going with a huge 1-0 win at Old Trafford. I mean, that's a statement. For them, it's pretty much the perfect start, showing off the exact kind of resilience they're going to need if they're serious about the title. But on the flip side, for Manchester United, wow, that's a tough one. An immediate setback right at home, and it's already got people asking questions about how quickly this brand new squad can start clicking.
And elsewhere in London, it was kind of a tale of two completely different stories, wasn't it? You had Tottenham, who just came out of the gates flying with a dominant 3-0 win. I mean, they're sending a message loud and clear. Then you have Chelsea, held to a really frustrating 0-0 draw by Crystal Palace. It just goes to show, right? Spurs look like they're already firing on all cylinders, but that expensive, new-look Chelsea attack, yeah, it seems like it's going to need some time to figure things out.
Okay, and rounding out the big results from England, you've got Liverpool. They took care of business at Anfield, winning a pretty entertaining 4-2 game against Bournemouth. But here's the thing. The result of the match itself, it wasn't really the biggest story to come out of that game.
Yeah, the win was, unfortunately, completely overshadowed by a really serious incident. There was an alleged racist comment from the crowd directed at Bournemouth's Antoine Semenyo. As you'd expect, both clubs have come out and strongly condemned it. The whole thing is now under investigation and, well, it's just a grim reminder that there's still so much work to be done in our sport.
But of course, the drama wasn't just in England, not by a long shot. So let's hop across the continent and see what was going on in some of the other top leagues. Over in La Liga, the defending champs, Barcelona, they got started in style with a solid 3-0 win. And this was a big game, symbolically, because the young phenom Lamine Yamal officially took on that iconic number 10 jersey. Pretty cool moment. We also saw Marcus Rashford make his big debut for his new club. And you can't forget about Nico Williams, who was just on fire for Athletic Bilbao, reminding everybody just how much incredible talent La Liga has.
Now, the weekend action in Spain isn't quite done yet. We've still got Real Madrid's first game to come, and it's going to be a tough one for them right out of the gate because they're going to have to do it without the injured Jude Bellingham. That's a huge loss for them.
All right, a real quick fire round for Germany and France, and honestly, it was pretty much business as usual for the big dogs. Over in Germany, Bayern Munich kicked things off by winning the DFL Super Cup, so they've already got their first trophy of the year. And in France, PSG got a professional, solid 1-0 win. Look, it wasn't flashy, but hey, 3 points is 3 points to start your title defense.
So even with all the on-pitch action, the football world never stops spinning, right? The news cycle is 24/7. So let's zoom out a bit and look at some of the biggest stories happening beyond those top European leagues.
£50 million. Just let that sink in. That is the club record, absolutely massive fee that West Ham just dropped to sign striker Gift Orban. I mean, that is a huge statement of intent from the Hammers. That's a signal that says, hey, we're not just aiming for a top-half finish this year. We want more.
All right, let's do a really quick trip around the rest of the globe. Up in the MLS, the playoff race is really starting to heat up. You've got some teams getting key players back just in time, while others, like Inter Miami, are trying to deal with a bunch of injuries. Then you go down to Brazil, and we saw this absolutely wild game where Vasco da Gama just crushed Santos in a match that was actually affected by flooding. Just bizarre. And over in the Saudi Pro League, Al Hilal got off to a great start, but the fans there are still waiting for their big star signing, Darwin Núñez, to get on the field.
Okay, so let's pull back from all the week-to-week club drama for a second, because there's an even bigger picture to think about here. Every single one of these performances we're watching, they're all being watched for a much bigger reason. Believe it or not, the road to the 2026 World Cup, it's already started.
Yep, that's right. The next round of World Cup qualifiers is literally just around the corner in September. So for all these players, every single game now is an audition. It's their chance to impress their national team managers and fight for a spot on that plane to North America in 2026.
And hey, if you're a fan who's actually hoping to go to the World Cup, the source material points out just how complicated the official ticketing process can be. It mentions a resource, an eBook called the Ultimate FIFA World Cup 2026 Ticket Playbook that's apparently designed to help fans figure out that whole system.
And finally, the source material we're covering here wraps up by talking about a coaching service that the author offers. It's aimed specifically at helping out young, aspiring players who want some direct feedback.
So this service is called the Black Mamba Game Tape Analysis, and it's pretty straightforward. It's basically a three-step process. First, you send in a short clip of yourself playing. Then, the author personally takes a look at it, and finally, you get a custom video breakdown sent back to you with some real actionable advice you can use.
And wow, that brings us to the end of a truly whirlwind opening weekend. We've seen teams make huge statements, we've seen some shocking results, and we've already seen new stars starting to shine. It really leaves us with this one big question to chew on as the season really gets into gear. With all of these different stories just starting to unfold, which one is going to be the story that ends up defining this entire season?